Hey guys, this is Hero, and today I'm going to be discussing the full moon transit this coming week. Okay, now this full moon is not like a regular full moon, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, so there's two parts to this. One, the full moon exactly is on Wednesday, but the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday leading up to the full moon, the moon is in Pisces and it's getting aspected by four planets, and two of those planets are conjunct with another two planets. So basically, the moon is receiving six total energies, you can call it, aspected on it at once, while it's in Pisces at the end of the zodiac, okay? So that's like an interesting energy in itself. And then all of a sudden on Wednesday, right when the full moon happens, the moon is shifting from Pisces to Aries, which is like the end of the zodiac right to the beginning. And it's right when the sun aspects it, okay? So that whole shift kind of happens, and the fact that the moon goes into Aries in a full moon is an interesting aspect itself, because the Aries is kind of the beginning of the zodiac, and that's where the sun gets exalted. I'm going to kind of explain all this right now and what it could mean in a second, but I'm going to basically break this video down into two parts. Okay, one is like everything leading up to Wednesday, and then two is on Wednesday and after. Okay, so part one, your moon, the moon on Sunday, you'll kind of start to feel it on end of Sunday, but definitely also on Monday and Tuesday. The moon is in Pisces, and it's getting aspected by Mercury, it's getting aspected by Mars, it's getting aspected by Ketu, and it's getting aspected by Saturn, okay? Now, what does all this mean? So, the fact that it's getting aspected by Saturn and Mars could basically moon represents mind, okay? So it could basically make you feel that a certain sense of frustration, okay? Because Saturn and Mars are both malefics and they fully aspect the moon, okay? So your mind could feel frustrated, okay? Now, it's in Pisces and it's being aspected by Ketu. So that could mean that you could also feel that, like, a sense of detachment. And the fact that Mercury aspects it, Mercury is aspecting its debilitation sign. So what that means, that kind of adds to the detachment and the frustration, okay? Because Mercury represents like irrational, like intelligence, and and it doesn't like being in Pisces, okay? So that could add to the feeling of detachment and frustration. So that end of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you'll feel those two themes a lot, okay? Detachment and frustration. Now, we all go through ups and downs in our life, right? You could hear this, my speech so far and be like, oh my God, why would you tell me that? Like, that's kind of like negative, speaking. Well, no, because that detachment and frustration, it could teach you something, okay? Especially because Saturn itself is with Jupiter, and Jupiter and Saturn, they both are stationary. They both just finished going retrograde, which is a great time for like awareness. And actually Mercury also just finished going retrograde too. So all three of those could really help you be aware of a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to the detachment and the frustration. So our ego likes to live in its own world, right? It likes to have us do and think the way it wants to be. However, moon in Pisces, especially with all those aspects right before the full moon, it could basically make us aware. Because we're detached and frustrated, it can make us aware of all the things that we're attached to, okay? And I'm pretty sure there's a quote where it's like, attachment is the root of all suffering, okay? So by you being detached and frustrated, you will in essence become aware of the stuff that's bringing you, of the stuff that you're attached to, and that's bringing you that false sense of happiness that your ego is so dependent on, okay? Now, once you identify that, you could learn to kind of naturally detach. See, right now you're kind of being forced to detach from that, okay? This transit is kind of recognizing that, oh man, like once I take these things from you, or once that illusion is kind of pulled from your mind, now you're frustrated and feel detached, okay? But because that kind of awareness has come to light, after this transit is over, we could hang on to that awareness of all the things that we're so dearly attached to and we rely on to for our happiness. And we can carry those over to make more positive changes, okay? So when it comes to transits, astrology is a spiritual science, right? So our soul is going through, it's signed up for all of this, okay? It wants to experience different things in its lifetime, okay? Including these periods of so-called detachment and frustration, possibly. Now, so for example, during these times, it could be very good to become aware of, like, the things that we're so attached to and hang on to, because when after this transit, we can learn to more strongly let go of all these things, so we can live more in the moment and actually truly be happy and actually truly maintain, that true state of mind of happiness, not that illusion of happiness, if that makes sense, okay? So you'll feel more of that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now, you could be like, oh, there's probably transits going on all the time that, I haven't heard of, before, this video, or before someone told me about it or whatever, and that's great, right? So this feeling of detachment and frustration, yeah, it'll come Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, mainly Monday and Tuesday, and it'll go away. But you could use this opportunity as a great time to become aware of, like I said, all the stuff that you're so dependent on and attached to. That Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's like, if you meditate then, it's like you're meditating, like if you meditate then for like 10 minutes, it's like you're meditating for like 45 minutes in another day, okay? Because that energy is so prominent then. So that's why when it comes to certain transits, it could be very useful to harness those energies, because it'll provide, because if you're able to use that properly, it'll provide great more benefit in the long run, okay? So I've talked enough about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now, when it comes to Wednesday, the moon, throughout Wednesday, like the beginning of Wednesday, the moon moves into Aries and sun moves into Libra, okay? Well, the sun has already been in Libra, but the moon moves into Aries. So now what that means is Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So the moon, all of a sudden, it lets go of all these aspects, right? Because I just said all these planets aspected it. They don't just aspect it all the time, okay? They only aspect it when it's in a certain spot. Now, because of where all the other planets are, they just all coincidentally happen to aspect Pisces. Now, however, when moon moves to Aries, all of a sudden, it goes from the beginning of the end of the zodiac to the beginning of the zodiac. B, all those aspects get released. And 3, now the sun is aspecting it. And the sun is also a very prominent planet. And also, the sun is aspecting it in like the exaltation sign of the sun is Aries, and moon is in Aries, and the sun is aspecting Aries, okay? So moon all of a sudden moves from Pisces to Aries, which is the end of the zodiac to the beginning. It lets go of all these aspects, and the sun is now aspecting its own exaltation sign, okay? So what you could feel throughout Wednesday, starting very, very strongly, is that, and a little bit Thursday as well, and possibly Friday, but not too much Friday. Mainly Wednesday, as soon as you feel it, you'll feel it, and it'll slowly start dying down throughout Thursday and Friday, because especially since the moon will slowly be wandering away past that full moon point. But on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you'll feel like that energy, like you'll know exactly kind of what to do or what your purpose is, okay? Because it's in Aries, and the sun, it loves Aries. That's the beginning of the zodiac. That's like it's like a signal of like new changes and stuff like that. So that's kind of the time to realize what you should do. Okay, so like let me just recap, for example. Phase 1, and like Sunday-ish you'll start, but definitely Monday, Tuesday. It's like it's a great time to you'll feel detached and frustrated, and it's a great time to kind of recognize, okay, these are the things that I should let go of. These are the things that my happiness is too overly dependent on, okay? These are kind of the illusions that currently exist in my mind, and it would be beneficial for me spiritually in the long run for me to let go of these now. And like I said, those energies make it a great time for you to become aware, okay? Now, all of a sudden, sometime throughout Wednesday and a little bit of Thursday and possibly Friday as well, you'll feel like, okay, now that I possibly let go of some of this stuff, these are the things that I should do or work on. And it's a great time to kind of recognize, for those of you who guys are feeling lost in life already, or you don't really know what your purpose is, this is a great time to kind of feel like that. This is a great time to kind of feel like, okay, this is kind of what I should be doing. These are the changes that I should make. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those in your head, like the changes that come up, especially if you're eating well and are taking care of yourself mentally and spiritually. Those kind of that kind of intuition that your mind gets on, okay, this is what I should do. I would strongly take those energies into consideration, because they can be very, very, very helpful for you throughout the next month, year, lifetime, whatever. Okay, so this whole week, like I said, it's a great time to be aware of both of those energies. Okay, that's why it's also so special. The detachment part and the purpose part. Okay, the stuff you need to let go of and the stuff you should do. Okay, so I think this video has been long enough. And just a quick other point I want to make. A lot of people, they have this perception about astrology, like that, like, oh, like it'll tell me exactly what's going to happen in my life. Well, okay, one, general transits won't do that. Okay, for that you would have to study your own charts and periods, or dashas in Indian Vedic astrology. Two, okay, astrology, like I said, is a spiritual science, so it's kind of showing you the lessons. Even like if you look at your own chart, it's showing you the lessons that you're meant to learn in this lifetime from a spiritual level. Okay, now what people will try to do is they only care really about what's happening, so they try to manipulate those spiritual lessons into materialistic outcomes, if that makes sense. Okay, now that could work, that could not work. Okay, you're kind of just predicting at that point and guessing based off of, you're trying to be as accurate as possible based off of spiritual lessons. Okay, but if you're looking at astrology from more of a purely spiritual place, it's 100% accurate. Okay, you'll definitely know the lessons that that you're supposed to learn, and the awareness that kind of rises and goes away, the different types of awareness that will rise and go away throughout, like, your life or certain transits, and stuff like that. And you'll be able to definitely use those lessons to elevate spiritually. You might not, get to know, exactly what happens when, but you will know kind of the idea of the lessons you're supposed to learn spiritually along the way. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about what I just said at the end there, or any part of this whole video, feel free to message me or let me know. I know my first transit video, the Mercury retrograde, was it was a little bit slightly late, but this one I made sure I did it before kind of that week of energy starts. So hopefully you guys can watch this and utilize this, and I hope you guys do and benefit spiritually from it. So until next time, guys, see you guys later. Thanks.